Oh, baby, let's get this party started. What's up? It is another Sunday. It's another week in the books, guys. What's going on? And girls, whoever's watching out there, thanks for coming in. Out of breath. I just ran in from upstairs. Word to the wise, everyone. If you're hungover, don't go. Not that I am, but don't go to a volleyball tournament because there's screaming girls and constant whistles and cheering. So I guess I should turn the sound on my phone down. So how's it going, everyone? What's up? Oh my God. I can do it. Yes, there I am. Pardon me. Let me, yeah, I know. My God. Look he's got legs. He's not just somebody that has a torso from the upper area regions. So what's going on, everybody? Yeah, volleyball tournament this weekend, kind of crazy. So happy to be there. Hope the sound's good. I kind of just set this up last second here, but I think we'll start off really quick with a little bit of news, and then I'm going to show you something pretty cool. What I do, I like to adjust the shares down. I don't do it too often, but I used PepsiCo. It's one of my darlings, to show you how holding on to shares for a long time, it's like the incredible shrinking stock. You'll see what I mean in a second. But hello, everybody, again. I know we got Shamir in the house from Canada, and let's see where else. Yeah, so Casey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? All right, so here we go. We will, no, there's no cheers, no shirts coming off, but it's a little too early for me to partake. So I usually don't like to until after I eat. But anyways, so with that being said, guys, got some Thunder Boomers moving into the area here, of course, right as I'm going on. So let's do a little bit of quick news, because one of the interesting things here, excusez-moi, was Care Trust. So you guys know I did a video on MPW. Well, make this bigger for all y'all out there in YouTube land. The Care Trust REIT raised their dividend only 1.8%, and John had just asked in the comments a little bit earlier if there was any REIT. So I did a quick look. Welltower, WELL, CHCT, Care Trust, CTRE, and there was one more I shared. Yeah, I don't remember what. But anyways, there looks like a little bit better of a company just on the surface. Care Trust. Newell Brands was downgraded to a 30, and Newell Brands, they have, I think they own Rubbermaid, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a little bit interesting. The mortgage REIT, ticker RC, Ready Capital, is a very unsafe 16.29% dividend yield. They did, that was just a reaffirmation, but they have a negative dividend growth last. Interesting, some of the telcos. I was just talking with somebody about AT&T and Verizon and explaining that if I had to do it over again, starting from ground zero right now, probably wouldn't, for thinking about total return, right? Thinking about all your dividends, your capital appreciation, rolling that all into one. AT&T has been pretty weak, as well as been Verizon. Very capital intensive industry. It's very competitive. They have to spend a lot of money to build out those networks. And anyway, so Verizon downgraded to 80. So that was interesting. And then one last little note for the office REIT, ticker SLG. If we're heading into a recession, they were downgraded to 40, and they have a 15% dividend yield for office REITs. So I don't know if you guys own any of those, but we will get to my PepsiCo example in just a second here to show you how we do indeed do this. Welltower. All right, look at this. Harsha. Well used to be under ticker HCN. They have gone. Interesting. stable business, no capital appreciation. Yeah, a lot of REITs, sometimes you're not buying it for the capital appreciation, hopefully a little bit, but yeah, mostly for those dividends, right? For income focused, for dividend investors. And let the what? I don't know what that means, Steve. Am I missing something? Gracias. Don't know. Anyway, okay. So here we go. Let let us everybody go look to what I was talking about. Let me do this because I am share my screen. All right, so here we go. We've got make that nice and big for you guys. So here we go. Check this out. At the very, very oops, let me hide Steve's comment here. Sorry, everybody, for doing that to you. All right. I just want to make sure everybody can see this. So we got PepsiCo. The current share price on PepsiCo, will follow along, is $179.09, right? Current dividend yield 2.83%, not world beating. So my average share price is $150.37. Now you can do this with any stock you own that you know exactly how many dividends you received. The yield on cost that I have is 3.37%. So the way you're figuring that out is you're taking my average share price of $150.37, and I should know this, I think it's like $5.06 a year, and you're dividing $5.06 by 150.37, multiplying by 100, that's going to give you your yield on cost. But check it out. This is the simple math. Ever since I've owned PepsiCo, I've received from all the shares from day one $640.96. And again, if you're new, I own 100 shares of PepsiCo, so I've received $640.96. I've sold some options on those since I've reached 100 shares. That's totaled $242.89. So add that all up, it's about $883 and change. Divide that by 100, the 100 shares, that gives me about $8.84 that I've earned per share. So when I subtract that, I get an adjusted average share price. Remember, we're just adjusting for all the money that I've received on those shares, brings the adjusted average share price down to $141.53. And the adjusted yield on cost for those shares is 3.58%. So that's kind of cool. You can think of it that way, is that every time you receive a dividend from a company, it's just whittling away your cost basis, your average share price. And eventually, it's going to take a while. We're not building Rome overnight here, but eventually, if PepsiCo continues doing what they're doing, one day I will have received my $150.37 just in dividends. So I will have gotten all my money back. So it's kind of a cool example. That's something you guys can do. Just call it your adjusted average share price and your adjusted yield on cost. And please hide that bottom screen there. Come on. Thank you. All right. Fun live stuff, right? So what do you guys think of that? Have you ever done anything like that? Have you ever adjusted your share prices? Have you done anything of the like? And also, let's know what you've been buying. What do you think of the market? What do you want to talk about? I want to hang out with you guys. I want to hear what you've been buying, what you're going to look at buying. Nice, Shamir, or John. I see you guys talking about this. That's gold, GOLD. That would be Barrick Gold. And they're very cyclical. They move with the price of gold. So the last time gold had a run up, I just sold out of Barrick Gold because that dividend yield wasn't very big and not growing, not world beating. Let me see. Let's see exactly what their dividend yield is now on good old Barrick Gold. Ticker. Warren doesn't like gold because it sits there, it stares at you, you dig it up out of the ground, and then you store it somewhere, and it has no customers, it has no revenue, it has no earnings, it cannot grow itself, it's not going to fart out little pieces of gold dust that you can melt down and, create more gold. It will always be that same exact 1 ounce of gold, and it's kind of like the greater fool theory, right? We're just going to have to hope that society accepts it as a medium of exchange and agrees upon it, and people will want to still pay more money for it. I think they will. But anyway, Barrick Gold, so 2.16% yield. And it's just, yeah, let me just see their growth. So 27% the last 5 years, and this is kind of why I sold it. You see, it's pretty cyclical. In 2012, it had that big run up and then cutting, and then it's been growing since there. But Canadian company, that's right, and that's Barrick Gold. So not a huge fan of gold and the gold stocks, but that's all I have to say about that. To quote my friend, to quote my friend. Forrest Gump, run, Forrest. Okay, now what? What do you got? Sorry, I'm good to go, dude. I got a big old mug of this is the ugly mug. Well, I shouldn't say that. My daughter made this when she was really small, and I've kept it. I do love my tea. Whiskey. Okay, so interesting. MJ, what's going on, MJ? How's it going? Been buying Allied Properties here and there. Hit pretty hard with the COVID. That's a stock that I do not really know much about. Allied Properties. Arsha's been buying VNQ, which is that's the Vanguard real estate. That's just like the I'm blanking. That's just like the the ETF. That's all the real estate REITs, right? If I don't know if it's all of them. And then SCHH, very cool. I don't know what that is. Let me look up SCHH. Dude, there's so many of them. Do you guys think Schwab's in trouble? It is it's a REIT. Okay, so it's Schwab's REIT, and they have. I don't see how many they have in here, but anyway, interesting. All right. Good, dude. Just so glad to be back with you guys. You know, I really look forward to this, and I was talking to Ryan Williams about it. How we have to come up with topics because to make it interesting to people that might want to watch like a week or two from now or later. I mean, you can't just put like, hey, we're hanging out, come and talk. Like that's really not going to entice any new viewers or anything like that. So kind of got to gussy it up a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, sell some put calls to lower the cost basis. Right, exactly. Interesting. You guys want to see something here while I'm looking at? Watch this. So I kind of, kind of freaked me out for a second here because right up here, see this little where my mouse is? It shows 0. I was like, oh no, I'm not connected. There's nobody watching. But I got my phone going because that's me anyway. Yeah, here we go. So I got my newsletter coming out. I actually finished it. I'll put it out a little bit after this, but I've been buying more Vici as well. What I like about Vici, and granted they dipped, I think briefly almost below 30, right, on Friday. I got some just over $30, like 30 and a quarter. And I think they look really interesting because from things I've been reading is that they want to get more into like the experiential what do you call it? Amusement parks, family entertainment, things like there's a rumor floating around that they could potentially buy Six Flags and do something called an OpCo-PropCo, meaning that Six Flags would sell Vici. In this hypothetical, Six Flags would sell Vici the real estate. They would get a bunch of cash. They would be able to pay down debt, and then they would do it's called a sale leaseback. Six Flags would sell all their real estate to Vici, sign right away like a 15 or 20-year lease agreement, and then they would operate on that, and then they would just become the tenant, and Vici would become the landlord. So that's something interesting. If that happened, we'll see. But that's one of the reasons I needed more Vici. I needed more Vici in my life. You guys need some. Shamir, yeah, hoping to pick up some Toronto Dominion Bank. I was making the joke. Too bad I'm not psychic because I really would have just liked to have waited and bought everything, just say Thursday or Friday. But I think years from now it's going to be fine, and it's not anything I'm worried about. The best REIT ETF. I think Harsha, I think, answered it. Probably if you just want easy, either VNQ or SCHH. I would have to look at their holdings. I've never looked at their holdings, but um, yeah. Let me get close. Let me go through these. I want to get, yeah, Chris. All right. You bought SCHD. Or is it? Or is it SHCD? I'm assuming that's a typo, right, buddy? Because I'm like, I don't know what that is. I want to get to you, Travis. What's up, Travis? Been buying some Best Buy, right? BBY. What was Bed Bath and Beyond? That was close to that. BBB? Why? No. I think that's Best Buy, Medtronic, and PepsiCo. Cool. Chris is going to buy some J&J tomorrow. Yeah, I'm being stubborn. I still think we're going to see down into the 140s. I'm pretty confident, but again, we don't know. And it's funny because now I'm thinking, like, isn't that just timing the market? All right, let's see. Oh, all right, let's look. Let's look at try and get this through this quick. I want to go through these big guy. Thank you. I want to go through these faster here. Let's see Allied Properties. I'll just do the Simply Safe really quick, see what they have to say about Allied Properties. With a REIT that I am not familiar with. Fantastic. Rocket computer here. Real estate office REITs. Yeah. I think my face says it all. I know I'm small down here in the corner. Hello. But yeah, I don't know, man. If they're solely leading owner, manager, and developer of distinctive urban workspace in Canada's major cities. Interesting. Network defense urban data centers in Toronto that form Canada's hub for global connectivity. Interesting. Allied's businesses providing knowledge-based organizations with distinctive urban environments for creativity and connectivity. They have some decent, steady Eddie growth. Looks like they have not had any cuts, really. That might be a little cut there, but either way, overall, it looks pretty interesting. And when you see his fluctuations down, I think that's the foreign tax, the FX exposure. Interesting. That's one that I don't know. I don't know what you guys do. You have any opinions on Allied REIT? Sorry, I went into I don't remember what is this? This is Alpha Spread just to see. They show that it has an intrinsic value of $43 Canadian, so could be about 46% undervalued on that. So I'm going to get caught up. Let's see here if there's anything really pressing. Frank, what's going on, Frank? Newmont, right? That's Newmont, NEM. Gold is used for industrial purposes. Yeah, but by and large, it does have some, not metallurgical, whatever they call it. You're right. It does have, they used to use it in fillings, although now the fillings are, I don't know if people get gold fillings anymore. Lowe's is solid. I did see that Lowe's is like, what, in the 180s now? Right, or right around there about. I don't think they're going anywhere. Nothing to worry about. And in my opinion, not financial advice. This is all just fun and entertainment. I think Lowe's is probably a good spot to start adding shares. My opinion on JEPQ and JEPI, yeah, they do. So it's right out of the money calls. I've never deeply dug into them. I did a quick surface scan of JEPI and the Q, right? That's just on the Qs that they do that. So I don't know. They're so new. I know JEPI's it's had as an inception of 2020, right? So I know everybody's high on them. People love them, but right? Yeah, here we go. Chris backing me up with Lowe's as a buy right now. I would agree with that. And Schwab is fine. And they're different. You don't even have to be a member. If you go on schwab.com, there's from Chuck Schwab himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the investor we all know and love. There's a little bit right on the big front page that they give their thoughts about the whole situation and say that we're not a bank and it's different. It's not an apples to apples comparison. So I think people were selling them off kind of in a panic, right? Who like investing out of when you're terrified, right? I think that's some of the best times is when, dude, it feels like the world's gonna end. It's never gonna come back. That the banks are gonna, the whole financial system is gonna collapse. I remember hearing that back in '08, and people were terrified. But it turns out just investing when you're terrified or when everybody's terrified turns out to be one of the best things. Steve NEM Newmont. I'll just tell you about it real quick so we don't want to get caught up here. They have a dividend safety score of 50, which is borderline safe, and it looks like Newmont did decrease their dividend 27% in February of 23. And KC, we've talked about, yeah, sticking with the same old buy more. AAMC, FRG, and HRO. I don't remember AAMC, but Harrow. Interestingly enough, after talking with her, I listened to Harrow's earnings call that just happened, and Mark Baum, their CEO, just really awesome. Dude gives a shout out to Warren Buffett and says he tries to structure his shareholder letters in the same vein, just wants to be open, honest, transparent. He wants everyone to know exactly what they own and why they owe it. Own it. Not owe it. And Chris Bambayan, Walmart, good old Walmart, Big Blue, Walmart, J&J, Realty Income, which I did buy, British Tobacco and SCHD. Yeah, I bought 10 more shares of Realty Income, or 9 more shares this week. And to do that, I sold Genuine Parts, and in the other, I've sold a few things. I sold my Unilever shares in the Roth just to consolidate into more SCHD. I want to get that to 100 so I can just start doing, writing some calls on that. And so we're selling covered calls, but that's cool, man. The baby woke up. You know what, man? Enjoy it. I don't know if you watch this later, but yeah. Dude, these kids, like I just said, my daughter's going to be 16. It's insane how fast it goes. And you know what? That actually ties into investing too, because I've heard older investors say like 10 years on the market is nothing. They say it goes by so fast. And yeah. Kirkland Costco coconut water. You got the Costco coconut water. Yes. Yeah, I would agree, Chris, that Vici and the REITs are dropped. But once this starts to sort itself out, there was a lot of S's, sounded like a slippery snake there. Once this starts to sort itself out and people become less fearful, I think a lot of the REITs are just going to go up and up. I'm pretty confident that we'll see Realty Income back up around high 60s, low $70 a share. So I'm just pleased as punch to be buying more of it here at a 5% yield. Boring. I love the strength of their tenants. They try to get quality tenants too. But one of the things to remember about a lot of these, and I probably should have included it in the MPW video, is just because a tenant goes out of business or moves out, remember the REITs, the landlords, they still own that property and they can lease it out unless your name is IIPR, which might be a little bit hard because from what I understand, they were accused of being a cannabis lending, like a cannabis bank. So because the tenants needed money to operate, they lent them money and then they're just charging them higher rent to recollect that money. But the rub is if any of those tenants go under, like if they do the jingle mail, like they mail in the keys and say like, yeah, we're insolvent, goodbye. IIPR is not going to be able to lease that at like $260 a square foot, whatever it is, what like comparable space is, I don't know, 40, 50 bucks. I don't remember the exact numbers, but that's some of the, uh-oh, my cat's might make an appearance here. I feel like, he gets needy and he might jump up. Here we go. Okay. Just don't knock anything. He's sometimes a bit of a lunatic, and that's T, buddy. All right. Hopefully he won't be too disruptive here and knock stuff over. So Chris, you did get SCHD. It was a typo. Let's see. Jeremiah, I haven't talked to you before, Jeremiah. Thanks for stopping by, man. Been buying CMI. That's Cummins, right, dude? They were unfortunately they got the boot from SCHD. He's been buying Cummins, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan, Altria, which I bought a few shares of Altria, and Lowe's. I'm gonna buy J&J if it drops another 2%. Let's see what else do you have. Yeah, the FRG rumor. Well, it's not a rumor. There was an unsolicited bid made. I'm sure she's probably answered this by now, but there was an unsolicited offer for $30 a share, all cash, meaning that if you hold FRG and the board accepted it, you would have gotten $30 per share and not a penny more. Let's see. Yeah, Luis, I'm hoping too, man. I want to add more. I'd like to add more. I think I'm at 75 or 76 shares of SCHD right now. Let's take a look, everybody, and see how much. This is the part of the show where we see how much SCHD I have. There you go, Steve. There's your Newmont dividend growth. Again, cyclical. Yeah, the dividends are higher from when they cut. So I guess if there's a reversion to the mean and history rhymes, then when they cut those dividends and it bottoms out is probably a good time to buy. Not financial advice. Okay, here we go. My SCHD is... Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I was wrong. All right, here we go. 78 shares of SCHD. So I'm getting that to 100. That's the goal. This is all in the Roth, as you can see right here. Roth. Do that. And yeah, currently I'm up to $205 from SCHD if I don't do anything else. And down, I'm down $286. So again, not worried. Fantastic companies that are in SCHD, and I plan on holding for quite some time. And it will recover. It just may take a little bit longer. Now we're too big. There's the dividend growth. 12% 10-year CAGR. I like that. It's good for just a set it and forget it. Bunch of blue chips. And again, I did do a video because the third Friday every March they reconstitute, and they'll give some the boot, like CMI, IBM, Prudential got the boot. Jeppy X has been around longer for research. Interesting. Thanks for sharing that, David. Hey, be still. Nice to see you live. Investing in Mo. Yeah, I listened to a little bit of their investor day. It's like 3 hours long. I may finish it this week, but they're really touting Enjoy. They had a lot of things to say that they know that they want to they're acting like we're getting ahead. We're trying to transition smokers into the heat not burn, and it's like, come on. It was going that way anyway. But again, this is why I said it makes investing so interesting, because every business is a living, breathing entity. And much like people, some people make really bad decisions and some people make wonderful decisions. And hopefully when they make bad decisions, they learn from those lessons. Poor decisions. If anybody, shout out to the Real Mackenzies. They have a song called Poor, P-O-U-R, Decisions. And it's a good little Scottish Canadian punk band that I like. John, your view of MPT, why would anyone buy individual REITs if they can be so badly mismanaged? Yeah, man. Well, that's the thing. If you do want to buy an individual company, your management teams are a huge part of it, right? And that's why Warren Buffett has that quote that says, when you buy a company, buy something that's so good, so strong, such a wonderful business that it can be run by an idiot, because one day one will. He may not have said idiot, but yes, he's making the point that at some point there's going to be bad management in a business, and it's just the business needs to be able to survive that bad management, like Silicon Valley didn't. From what I heard, there was very little banking expertise on their board of directors. It was just bad management. Neb Faber, as he put it, in a nutshell, with Silicon Valley, the reason they failed is because they put their money into assets that would do poorly if interest rates went up and interest rates went up. So that right there should be like, hey, probably we shouldn't do all of this just in case interest rates go up and people need their money, depositors want to pull it, we're gonna be screwed. So that was a bad, yeah, that was bad, 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 bad. That's my profession, not professional. I can't think of the word. I've been up since 5:15. Everybody, it was a long day. Going to watch volleyball. Been writing out of the money calls on Altria for 49 to 50 bucks. So Harsha, how do you do those? Are you doing those monthly? What's your time frame on those? I'd love to know because after talking to Jeremy, um, he got me into weeklies, and I've really been stuck on the weeklies because you know you just have more control over it. I think you're not going to get caught. Eli, it's not cut. It's if they've paid a dividend for 10 years is what I believe the wording is because Ford was just added, and they of course had a dividend cut. Jay has been buying Kroger, Cisco, and SCHD. Nice. Part of the reason, well, the big reason I sold Cisco was they are a top holding inside of SCHD, so I funneled that money just into SCHD. And yeah, why did I sell Unilever? Well, because it was 20 shares, and I was up a few bucks on it, and I want 100 shares of SCHD, and it's inside the Roth. I'm getting close to maxing the Roth out, and the starting yield is higher. There's a very small ADR management fee that you have to pay on. So, for instance, I think I got $9.04 or 6 cents, like $9.06 on Unilever this last dividend, and 10 cents I had to pay toward. Again, it's small. It's small, but yeah, I don't know if by the time. So I need funds. I'd really like to get SCHC to 100, and I would be thrilled to have a cost basis closer to 70 bucks. So yeah, I just needed money, and honestly, I've had those 20 shares for I don't know a year and a half. It's been a while, and they haven't really gone anywhere. What'd you say, Casey? Management won't discuss. Oh, regarding franchise group FRG. She assumes the board of directors and legal are chewing on it, so it could take it could take some time to see any firm news on it. I think 30 is a little bit low. Casey, she mentioned that she thinks there's some price anchoring in it, that the offer was made when they were close to 22 bucks a share. So investors, I think whoever made the offer may be thinking that they're like, well, everybody probably has $22 in their mind, and if we throw out 30, everybody's gonna say like, whoa, that's some easy money, like sell. But as Casey rightfully knows, there's highly likely that FRG is worth a lot more money than $30 a share. Yeah. Right, and I think so too. But you know what? We don't know when that's going to be. There's no. Unfortunately, here's an idea. If anybody wants to come up with a service, is whenever there's a market pullback in any one stock or just the market in general, is to have an alert to let all of us know when the exact bottom is. That's what they say. There's nobody ringing a bell when we've hit the bottom and telling everyone, okay, come in and buy now. So we just don't know. And that's why I'm comfortable. One of my tricks that I use, like when I've been buying TD, I was buying TD around $70 a share, and I felt comfortable buying them there. And yeah, while they're at 55, 56 now, I still think they're going to be fine. And you would have loved to have been psychic and waited, but you know what? We don't know the future. We can't predict what's going to happen. This was kind of a black swan thing that happened. So Oh boy, I gotta get caught up yet. So he made an appearance a while ago. All right, let me get caught up to you guys. I apologize if I scan over you. Then just if it's really important, ask again. I'm gonna get caught up so we can be a little bit live, here. Um, yeah, look at this. Always looking really good. BCE. That's telecom in yeah, hey there, up there in Canada. They don't say that in Canada, do they? Shamir, can I get a veracity? Am I valid on that? Do people in Canada say yeah, hey there, or is that just the UP, like Northern Michigan and Minnesota? The Upers they call them, I think. Management is critical. Yeah, dude, Kevin, you've been part of like boards and whatnot, right? It's interesting. The more people I read, and Warren has even said at times that he's been part of boards where management is just like they'll just buy back shares whenever, and like he said, that's saying you'll buy a business if you were going to acquire a business, buying it at any price, just being like whatever you want to offer, whatever, just tell me, I'll pay it. Hey, see you later, Casey. I know this was a minute ago. Dinner's here. Did we get dinner delivered? I can't do it. I'm too cheap. All right, let's see. I got to get caught up to you guys. Too far back. I apologize if. Let's see. John, how would your investment mix change if you were early retiring in 2 to 5 years? What mix would you do? In 2 to 5 years, well, man, it's so tough to answer these because everybody's situation is just so different, and it really does depend on how much money you need, like what what your risk level is. Do you have people you're caring for? Is it just you? What other kind of income do you have? Is your investment income going to be 100% of everything that's paying the bills? I mean, it's hard to say what a mix would be, but if you wanted to just be super safe, get your whatever 8 to 9% a year, I would just do S&P 500. Just put it in the SPY. You can set it and forget it, and it all just depends. That all right, here we. It all just depends. That's what happens when your brain is moving a little too fast. Did you guys like my Sega shirt from the thumbnail? I told you I'm just gonna start pulling logos out of. I'll probably just keep using that picture and just change the logo. Just do the Google search and transparent background and all that. Interesting. So Shamir hasn't heard ya hater. Let's see. Be still. BSS is saying if we head into a sideways market for a while, how much of that changed your investment strategy? None. That sideways is great for selling covered calls. Honestly, I think, well, they say bear markets are great for selling covered calls, but I think it's a sideways market. If I knew we were in a sideways market, I would probably be more aggressive. But the problem is you just don't know when things are going to jump up, right? Let's see. I mentioned a book, Owning Individual Stocks in an IRA. I don't think I did. Oh, you know what? It was the only investment guide you'll ever need. Let me see if I can Google this real quick. By not Tobias Carlisle. Hold on, Andrew Tobias, I think. Yeah. So let me pull this up. He does it every couple of years. So the one I read. Let me share the screen here with all you fine folks. Just for you, Will, Mr. Ritchie. You're not related to Guy, are you? Who is Guy Ritchie? Wasn't he married to Madonna? I'm really bad with my Hollywood. So I don't know which. Okay, so this is 2016, and look for the most current one. I don't know if I'll show it down here. Dude, there's so many books. Outlier Investors. Nice. But anyway, this was the book. It was the only investment guide you'll ever need by Andrew Tobias. Pretty good. You can read it for free on Hoopla. That's the app that you need your library card for. And he did mention in there that it's best to hold your steady Eddie blue chips inside of an IRA because, like I've found out, where I have like Alibaba and Neo and even, you know what, anything that's down substantially, there's no tax benefit to selling it. So you can tax loss harvest inside of your taxable account, meaning that if you're down, I don't know, $500 on AT&T, you can sell AT&T and then you can claim that as an offset against any capital gains, $500, whatever that was, but it's up to $3,000 of tax loss harvesting, they call it. But you cannot buy that exact equity, that whatever the ticker was, you can't buy it in anything that has your name. So you, because otherwise it would violate it. So that's just a really rough explanation. I hope that helps. But there's no tax benefit in that way. So you know, I think Peter Thiel, though, kind of gamed the system because I think he put a ton of Facebook when it was dirt cheap in his Roth, I believe is what the story I heard. And because it's just flown up, he's never going to pay anything on those. So he could just start, when he retires, pulling shares out. Oh, good. I'm not too far back. Let's see what we got. Yeah, Canadians say, hey, they're so nice. So very nice. All right. So there's the book comment. Let's see. His plan is to reach fire by mid-2027 and working a core satellite strategy based around SCHD. Yeah, I kind of want SCHD as a nice foundation for the Roth. But honestly, 2028, I know it's a few years off, but that's when I'm trying to make, and I've told them all this, work optional. That's 50th birthday. I don't know if I'll hit it. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but let's see. Regarding TD, never have to worry about the lower the better. Yeah, I actually may throw a couple more shares. I got to the 100 shares, and I'm just not going to sell calls right now because where I would need to go, I don't even know if anybody would pay anything. I'd have to go many months out. But yeah, I do like TD. The big banks are going to be fine. And I've said, I think when this is all said and done, that the bigger banks are just going to come out even stronger. And I don't know. Maybe we don't need all these banks. Maybe we don't need 7,000 different banks. I know what Buffett or Munger always makes the joke that there's more bankers than banks out there. So we'll see. But I do agree, Shamir. Lewis has, what else you got? VCI, VEA, VY. Dude, you've got all the Vanguard. You're like Pokemon with the Vanguard stocks. Some individual stocks on top to supplement yield and dividend growth. I like it, man. And again, it's just what works for you. My Roth IRA holdings. Okay, we can look. Why am I holding SCHD in the Roth? Yeah, I know they're qualified. Because I plan on holding that for many, many years. And I don't want the dividends and the growth. I just want to know that it's all going to be tax-free. Because here in the United States, I don't know if you know this, but all your Roth is post-tax. So I've already paid taxes on that money. I put that into the Roth up to $6,500 a year. And I can always take out the $6,500 tax-free, penalty-free, but I cannot take out the gains. I can't take out any gains from that. So yeah, that's kind of why I'm doing that, is just, I don't know, just my own personal preference. I just want to know that the gains are always going to be tax-free on those 100 shares and the dividends as well. So kind of cool. Yeah, do it. So hey, nice. You're going to go for the 4% rule. Yeah, the 4% rule is that you withdraw 4%. But see, that's the catch, because if you're not 59.5, then you can't take out without paying like a 10% penalty, and it counts as taxable income. So it's just not worth it. So that's interesting. When I hear a lot of these people going fire early, they're doing it inside of taxable accounts, I believe, right? Mostly because you want to take out 4%. So if you wanted, what's the number they use? $40,000 a year, you'd need Is it a million? No, million and a half? Million, I think, right? I think it's $1 million. They keep the math simple. You're supposed to figure out what you need per year and then multiply it by 25, and that's the number you have to hit. So if the market goes up 8, 9, 10% a year, whatever it is, then by you having it and being conservative, you should always be able to take out 4% and theoretically never run out of money. A dude from San Diego, I forget, I think it was did that study in the 90s, I believe. I don't remember his name. Oh, good. Yeah, Will Ritchie has no relation to Guy Ritchie. I could be standing next to Guy Ritchie in a Kroger and I'd have no idea who it was. Maybe I have been. Let's see. Harsha, there you go. I asked her about, I don't remember Harsha. I apologize. I don't remember your gender. I try to keep track of you guys as much as I can. But for me, for somebody that was born and raised in America, sometimes foreign names, when it's just a name on a screen, I don't know if it's a male or female traditionally given name. But buying Abbott, Johnson & Johnson, Amazon, there you go, and Altria. Okay, so you write puts, okay, Monday or Tuesday, cash out Friday. So you're doing weeklies too. And then you wait. Yeah, wait until, okay, cool. Oops, I almost put Jeremiah in timeout. I don't even know what that does. About overweighting a down holding in order to rebalance selling to lower share prices. Well, I've tried it. I did that with AT&T and Intel. Hasn't worked out so far yet. But yeah, if I read your question right, are you talking about averaging down so eventually when share price starts to rise up, we'll be able to get out, I think. Let's see. Sold 7 stocks, then bought for less same day. So let's see, John, let's work through this. You accidentally sold 7 stocks. You thought you canceled it, and then you bought for the same. Actually, yeah, well, that would. So if you were trying to do a tax loss harvest, then yeah, that would cancel it out. Yeah, so when you sold those stocks, you gained. Okay, I read that wrong. No, it doesn't count then. So if you made a gain, then there's nothing to tax loss harvest. So tax loss, it only counts if you sold those shares at a loss. If you bought, I don't know, if you bought Altria at 45 and then you sold at 43, well, that's a tax loss of $2 that you're realizing, and you can use that to offset your capital gains for that year, and you can do that up to $3,000. Full tax. Yeah, and if you have a question, call. I don't know if it says Robinhood. I would say call the customer service. But yeah, don't worry about it. If it's $2, dude, if it's $2, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry at all. Lewis is counting for taxes. What do you guys want to look up anything? Let's see. Okay. Alpha male. Well, cheers, Harsha. You know what? It's just hard for me sometimes. You know what I mean? I won't say it. I won't say people say the stupid American, but just I don't know any better in that regard, All right, let's see. Activision, Jeremiah. So for those of you that do not know, 95, right? Sorry for that clicking noise. We're watching The Last of Us, and the mushroom people. You know who is a mushroom person? Toadstool. I wonder if Toadstool makes an appearance in the Last of Us, because, right, Last of Us is PlayStation. I guess from what I heard from Harris, it was based on a video game, but Toadstool was a mushroom people. And also, I believe System of a Down sang about the mushroom people. But I think that was a different kind of mushroom people. Very interesting show, by the way. I'm sorry. ATVI. How did I get on that tangent? ATVI is being sold or was agreed to be purchased by Microsoft for $95 a share, right? What's it at now? Let's see. Average price, we'll be selling at an average price 5% above, which will go into that are down. Okay, I get it. Okay, I asked you that question earlier. Right, right. So I see what you mean. Yeah, I haven't done anything like that. Um, I've just done the stupid thing of averaging down. Just keep buying shares and say, hey, oh, here we go. Tutomi, holdings in the Roth. Let's see. I'll show you, buddy. Come on over, everybody. Sorry about the singing. Let's go portfolio. You want to see the Roth. So the Roth, make it a little bit smaller here. Hold on. Let me hide your comment, good sir. And actually let me hide myself. There you go. Make it look a little bit better there. So we will do the holdings by, how about we just do yield on cost? So right now, you can see FRG is my top yield on cost. I don't know if I want to do, yeah, we'll do yield on cost. Why not? 8.87%, but you can get that for a 9.8% yield right now. And I'm down 9.6%. I'm down on Altria, only 15 shares. Enterprise Products Partners. Sorry if I go too quick there. You can always pause this later if you want. EPD. I have 50 shares of them in the self-directed IRA. But yeah, these are all the Roth. Simon Property Group. If you guys remember, I had my original cost basis was like 88, 89 in the taxable, and I sold them. And I sold them at 116 and change, and I wanted to buy them for less in the Roth. I moved the money to the Roth. I sold for a gain, but yeah, I did. I got it right there, 114.61. And too bad, again, I could have just waited a couple more weeks and got it even cheaper. So that almost worked out well. But either way, in my mind, I still have that $89 cost basis. So this is not, technically, yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not quite right. IIPR, Verizon, AT&T, just down. Everything on the Roth is down. It's a newer portfolio. BMO, Stag Industrial, SCHD, I'm down on. 3M, 49%, ugly. J&J down. Clorox, Lowe's, 3 shares. I've been selling. I think I had 4. I sold 1. I may just be peeling off Lowe's shares, but although I'm down, so I might not do that now. And then, yeah, you see Alibaba down, Neo, Segi, Sycamore Entertainment. I can tell the story in a minute on that. Take-Two, that one. So these two were more or less advice from people, Sycamore Entertainment and Take-Two. So those, Sycamore Entertainment Group, when I started my job 2 years ago, my boss's son was all on Sycamore. They're going to have this deal and this. And I looked at it. I looked at the finance. I was like, dude, they don't make money. They've never made money. They're losing. They're burning cash like crazy. He's like, yeah, it doesn't matter, but it's a penny stock. So I said, all right, man, you know what? I'll throw $20 into it. And so I can keep an eye on it, but I'm telling you, it's not going anywhere. And now I'm down, what was that? I'm down 91.5%. So I feel like, I'll tell him on Monday. I'm like, I told you so. But again, it was $20. I don't play the lottery. I just consider that a lottery play. Let's see. All right. Holy cripes. Look at the time. Oh, yeah, we were talking about it, man. You found a music industry stock. Siri. Oh, yeah, Sirius XM, which I do have an account. I have a lifetime account with them. I believe Warren Buffett still owns Sirius XM. I think. I'm like 90% certain on that. Not 100 or Berkshire. He may not have bought it. That may not have been one of his buys. It could have been a Todd or Ted buy. Todd Combs or Ted Wexler. They could have bought that. His lieutenants, right? So one time he was asked, he said, we owned a REIT, and he said it wasn't my buy. So he gives his lieutenants a little bit of leeway there. Yeah, I've said that 3M is going to get under $100, and I'd like to buy it closer to 90. So we'll see. You're welcome, man. You're welcome for sharing. You know what? BMO's quite safe. Yeah, I've thought about adding more, and I might. So the reason I like holding BMO there is I don't have to deal with Canadian taxes. It doesn't apply because it's a retirement account here, the withholding tax. So once again, I don't want to sell at a loss, but I think I'd had 4 shares of Lowe's, and eh, it's good. But when it gets around 200 again, I may just grab the cash, just sell them, get the cash, and just put it more into SCHD. Essex Property Trust, right? ESSEX, or is that ESS? Am I thinking about T Row? T Row is solid. I know Dividend Talk just talked about them on their podcast. Pristine balance sheet is the word that comes to mind. Solid company. I do own them inside of SCHD. So I don't feel like rushing out to buy them. Unless they were at just a screaming buy, then I might. I like it. Jeremiah, I love it, man. What's up, man? The sun's coming out. We had some thunder boomers. That's why my cat Louie came. He must have been scared. He's a big tough guy until Big Tuffy and what do you call him? Tuffy toenails. So we get a little, rumblings in the skin. He's buying holdings that are a loss in the portfolio is the name of the game during this market. Yeah, I think so. And that's why I've been, again, realty income. That was kind of easy. I just sold genuine parts, which I was way up on. I think I was at like 68%, 65% up on those. I had bought GPC around May of 2020, and I just held 5 shares. And I was going to add more, but then everything started running up. And it's just like, at this point, I'm like, well, it's an ancillary position. I own it inside of other funds. I would rather just have that realty income, extra exposure. So you sold 3M at a loss 6 months ago. Yeah, it's going to be risky. I think that they're going to be okay in the long run, but once some of the litigation news starts hitting, then look out, man. I think we're going to have a lot of weak hands. Interesting that you'd sell them if they cut the dividends. I don't think they will. I think they know, or they knew this was coming. That's why they've been doing the penny raises for what, 3 years now? A penny raise, which is nothing. I think they're just trying to preserve cash, and they don't want to. Think about buying some UK stocks. Yeah, I see Harsha just answered that. There's an ADR, zero international tax. So, yeah, Unilever, it's a good company. Again, nothing at all wrong with it. I just preferred to have a little bit higher yield and bump up a few more shares of SCHD and spread that amongst 100 companies inside of SCHD. So that's all, just personal preference. And just, again, consolidating, getting things a little bit leaner, looking for higher conviction ideas. I know Peter Lynch talks about the diversification. And I think the only thing he's saying with that is the more stocks you own, the closer you get to just being average, which is perfectly fine. And it depends on what your goal is. I know people say, like, did you beat the S&P? Well, that's personally not my goal. My goal is dividend income without selling shares ultimately. And that may evolve a little bit, but as things are right now, that's what I want. I want to just eventually just live off that principle and never have to, live off the interest and not touch the principle, so to speak. Yeah, they sold a little NVIDIA, Microsoft, and AMD. Interesting. I think as the rain picks up, I think the tech companies are. I don't know how long it's going to take. I know there was that shift, right, from growth to value. It is hailing outside, everybody. Crazy. Let me see what you got here, and then Unilever's yield is higher than SCHD. Is it? Let's see. I thought it was. So SCHD currently 3.73, and from Unilever I'm seeing 3.40. Plus, there's that little itty bitty ADR management fee, unless you meant something else. Oh, getting ready to sell Adobe. That's a solid business. And, I might save this for next week, but yeah, I just read that, finished up that book I had in the newsletter. You can sign up for that below. Last week about Adam Cecil's Where the Money Is. It's value investing in the digital age. Just really gave me a great new insight into thinking about companies that have a lot of intangibles, companies that spend a lot on research and development. And the problem with that is that you have to expense research and development, meaning that they consider it used in just 1 year. But clearly, if you're developing something, that could be used for the next 20 years or 15 years. But anyway, so a lot of the tech companies look really expensive because they have to expense their research and development, which they spend heavily on all in 1 year. Whereas like a Campbell's can buy a new plant and then depreciate that over 20 years or something like that. So that goes on the balance sheet. They call it capitalizing that expense on the balance sheet. Otherwise, you have to expense it. So it's kind of unfair, and I don't know if we'll ever see a change in that. But really, really interesting. Yeah, I don't know about Unilever. That's interesting. I don't know which one's right, but I believe I looked at on Schwab too, and I think it said that. Let's see. I'll try to hit these rapid fire between HD and I'm assuming you meant Lowe's. I think HD. I would give the nod to Home Depot. I know they've had pretty. They're both pretty solid, but just for the simple fact, because in my industry, and I know Lowe's is trying to shift this way, is the pro, where like more contractors will buy bulk supplies from Home Depot than they will at Lowe's. But Lowe's is trying to build that out and compete with Home Depot. So we'll see. It's great, if they can cut into that business. Oh, these guys. Hey, I'm assuming this is Derek. What's up? I engineer my freedom. And have I bought Con and Click ya a whole Deleza yet? No, and actually, I sold them for a pretty nice gain because I just wanted to put that money elsewhere, and it was an ancillary position. It wasn't a core position. So, good company, from what you guys have taught me. But I did. Nice to see you, by the way. Yeah, I didn't. I haven't bought them back, and I don't know if I will. But it is what it is. And I do thank you because I made some money on that. All right, let's see. Oh, here we go. Dude, this could be a whole topic. Yeah. Love the EU perspective. Yeah, and he's talking about Dividend Talk. If you guys have not checked out or listened to the Dividend Talk podcast, please do. We have EMF, who's in Ireland, the south of Ireland. And we have, oh my God, European Dividend Growth Investor. I was just thinking, I don't want to use his real name. He's anonymous, but he's over in Central Europe. So yeah, it's really cool. Gives you that European flavor, which I really love to hear because, being here in the States, you get a lot of just our perspective. So I thank you. Fantastic. I'm glad you learned something new. I love it. It's cool to hear that I'm just sitting down here and talking to you guys. And I learned from you guys too. I love to hear what you're buying, moves you're making, what you're doing. And I will say thank you for that. So, dude, we made it again. Cheers. We had an announcement. Well, he made an appearance. My cat Louis did. And yeah, again, I don't know. I put out an MPW video, and let's see. I guess. So I just saw this pop up. A get together in Chicago. I'm open to it. I guess I would probably have to be the one to set that up, but let me think about it. Maybe we could try and do something over the summer. Um, but yeah, we'll think about it. I let me talk to Cody, Citizen of the Year. I don't know because he's anonymous. I don't know how he would feel about that because I've never met him in person. We've texted and talked and did our video together, but that would be fun. That would be fun to get the two of us together and just I don't know, maybe meet at like the Starbucks Reserve down in on Michigan Avenue or something, or the Roastery, whatever it's called. That might be cool. Just hang out for a few hours and talk investing or whatever comes up. So, um, yeah, that's awesome. So, guys, thank you again for stopping by. And again, if you're new here, I'm a kid of the '80s. I'm a child of the '80s. Pee Wee Herman holds a special place in my heart. I loved the end of his episode. I love that music. So, I don't know how much longer I'll do this, but I don't know. It's become a thing. The end of the live stream, you're going to hear Pee Wee if you're sticking around. So I will talk to you in the next episode, the next live stream. So long, everybody.